Hey Wargamers, MiniGamePainter here. Excited about the new Ork Codex that came out. I'm going to be doing a gradual review. This first part is just an overview of what I think so far. Number one, I enjoy a lot of the artwork in it. The cover is an amazing war boss and they did a great job. Couple of things right off the bat. Number one, Ghazghkull is a Lord of War. Not an HQ choice. I found that really odd that they'll put a Stampa and Ghazghkull as the Lord of War. And the reason why it took me so long to figure that out is because they don't actually tell you, unless I missed it somewhere, they don't actually tell you what is troop, what is elite, what is heavy, and everything. All they have is these symbols up at the top of each of the pages. And I was looking everywhere for it and I couldn't find it. So what I did was eventually I looked at the beginning of that little chart that describes the Codex, and it says that in the 40K rulebook it tells you what is what. So you have to look into the rulebook to see that that little skull means HQ, which is really odd. Or what you can do is go back at the, I'm sure you'll learn it off pretty quick. Or you can go back to the Ork detachment at the end. So it has that symbol as HQ, your troops, all that good stuff. And then the Lord of War, which is Ghazghkull and the Stampa. I don't know how the Stampa and Ghazghkull is this even remotely close. So I think that's a mistake, because Gaz is one of the coolest characters they have. And he should have just stayed an HQ choice. That's just completely stupid. So, with that being said, let's move on to the HQ choices. So the last Codex had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Had 7 HQs. And the new book has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Has 8. Now, with the HQs, they added Boss Zagstruck, Captain Badruck, Ghazghkull, Old Zogwart, and Wazdaka. Which I'm surprised they took away Wazdaka. But I don't know, we'll see. But again, this is the initial. I haven't played any games. I'm only looking at the stats as well as some of the models and the artwork. And some of the artwork is amazing, especially when they included the Stampa, and the new Flash gets into this mix and it looks really, really good. So far I think it's really good. So the first one on the list is the War Boss. The War Boss is pretty much the same. He's the same points, a lot of the same weapons, cyborg body, holy jeez. Yeah, the cyborg body and a lot of the things have changed, so we'll get to that as well. But for the most part, the same kind of, the stat line, there's really nothing special, except for the Here We Go, which is good for when you're assaulting. But, you know, some of the upgrade points like heavy armor and things are slightly less, like 1 point less, so not that much of a change. Then we go on to the Weird Boy, where the Weird Boy used to be 55, now it's 45. And you can upgrade to the Warp Head for an additional 25. So that would make it, 60, 70 points versus 85. So you save 15 points, and a lot of their, his psychic abilities are much, much better. So that's good. And one thing they did kind of unique is that each boss, when they call their WOG, does different things. So I thought that was pretty neat. Like the War Boss, once per game, he has where if he calls his WOG, you can run and then assault, which is pretty awesome. I was hoping that Tyranids would have gotten that too, or something along those lines, but that's awesome. So War Boss is going to be allowing the close combat army to come back, I think. The Warp Head you get +1 warp charge in the psychic phase if there are characters nearby or for a group, which he should always be in a group of 10 boys or more, so that's important. The next one is the mech, which is very similar that they had before. This mech, you may include a single mech chosen from this data sheet. It doesn't count towards the force org, and then it's placed into an infantry or artillery type. So in theory, if I'm reading this correctly, if you have mech as an HQ, you can have 2 mechs, one that's stuck to another group somewhere else. So, and then he can also get mech weapons, which I believe is very similar. Well, we'll get to the weapons. So that's the mech. He gets the big mech with the shock attack gun. And he can get, let's see, he's 35 points. And he used to be 35 points. Force field is 50. Force field's still 50, but it does some other things. I believe it's an invulnerable save of 5 up instead. And if you're in a vehicle, it doesn't give the vehicle bubble anymore. It just gives that vehicle. So, he can take mega armors, which I can definitely see taking in the future. And then he can take a teleport blasta, which I'll have to look up, but that's mainly what he can do. So I'm thinking big mech, mega armor with force field is going to be kind of a neat combination. So then they upgraded the Pain Boy to an HQ choice. And which is kind of odd because he's just a Pain Boy, 50 points. And let's see, the Pain Boy before was 20 points plus 30 points, so he's the same amount of points for an HQ. He's actually a pretty cheap HQ. So with Orks, you're probably going to take multiple HQs. So he can give Feel No Pain to any group you want, essentially. That's good, instead of only being able to upgrade a Nobz squad. So you'll probably see more Pain Boys out on the field, because now you can add Feel No Pain to a huge squad of 30 boys, which will be nice. So, and then the next one is Mad Doc, which in my opinion before he was 180, now he's 160, and I think they actually fixed him, and he's pretty powerful. I will use him now. Before, he had something stupid like where he had to run. He had to attack the closest person no matter what kind of thing. And that pretty much wiped out his use because he had to literally move closest to and run if he had to, or go flat out any way, shape, or form to try and get into the close combat. Now they eliminated that, and when he joins the group, it's fearless, so it's still fearless, and then he gets the rampage. He can't freely leave the group, which is not a big deal, but he's really strong. He's got Power Claw, he's got Feel No Pain, he's got Cyborg Body. Okay, just so we know, Cyborg Body is now a 6+ Feel No Pain instead of a 5+ invulnerable save. So if you think about it, if he has the... Okay, so he has the... This is one thing I think is just a mix-up in why they screwed up Cyborg Body. So he has Dock Tools and Cyborg Body. Well, Dock Tools gives you a 5-up feel, like the normal Feel No Pain, but Cyborg Body gives you a 6+ Feel No Pain. Why would you... That's stupid. Oh well, I think that was probably an oversight that they just kind of fixed them and slammed them in there. Next one is Captain Badrook, which is the free booze Flash gets special character, which I was hoping that he became an HQ. So now he's an HQ choice. He's 110 points, which I believe is about the same amount of points as he was before. He has the same gun. It's an AP2 weapon that gets hot, and he has a 3+ armor save and a 5+ invulnerable save. So he is pretty awesome. And he gets a special warlord trait fixed to him, kind of like what the Tyranids were. And then the last HQ, right? Yes. Last HQ is Boss Zagstra, which he is 65 points. I want to say that's cheaper. So 12 plus 85, so before he was 97 points. So he's much cheaper. Much more likely to add him to a group of Storm Boys now. And instead of having that special where he jumps in and can assault that turn, he has a Strength 8 AP2 Strength 8 AP2 Hammer of Wrath attacks. And it doesn't look like he has a Power Claw. Anyways, well, it doesn't look like he has a Power Claw, so his claws on his feet are strictly for the Hammer of Wrath, which I guess that could be good. 65 points, he's cheap enough to where he doesn't necessarily need a Power Claw. But the Strength 8 AP2 hits is going to be helpful, especially if you hit a group of Terminators, soften them up a little bit. So, the next is the boys, which pretty much is almost exactly the same. 6 points apiece, which is before. The only thing that kind of sucked a little bit is that you can replace their Slugga Choppas with Shootas, which is 1 point. So now your boys went from 6 to 7, and if, as you guys know, I always run Shoota boys because having a wall of just shots is amazing. So this is going to increase a boy squad anywhere from 20 to 30 points strictly because of that 1 point advantage. Now, they allow any group of boys now to take heavy armor for 4 points. So that means 10 points a model with a 4-up armor save. Probably not worth it. I would rather have the extra boys. I mean, for every 2 boys with regular armor, you can add another one in there instead of heavy armor. So I never did that before, and I probably won't do it now. A great change is Big Shoot is always 5, and rocket launches are now 5. So you can now equip a large group of boys with rockets and not feel bad about it, which is really good against Space Marines and tanks and things. And then it says 1 other model may be upgraded to a boss knob. How it reads is that it looks like you can actually have 2 knobs in a squad of boys, and it doesn't say anything about having over 20 or anything like that. So if you wanted, you could have 2 knobs in a truck, 2 Power Claw knobs, 2 boss pulls, or 1 boss pull, or big choppa or something in a truck, and then go. So that's kind of neat. And then it says boss mob can take multiple things, as well as the boss pull and the dedicated truck transport. So that's kind of neat, that you can have 20 or 30 boys with 2 knobs, have one just a basic crappy knob that takes the maybe upgrade one to a big chopper or something. So that one knob takes the challenge, and the other one with the Power Claw can freely hit whatever group you want. And you kind of keep them together that if one knob dies, the other one's still there and you get to still play around. So that's kind of neat. Other than that, the stat line is still the same. I have sticky bombs before, so that's good. So does that mean that you're going to be going last despite going through? I mean, there's still initiative 2, so I don't see how that sticky bombs will be that great. Yeah, they're assault grenades with sticky bombs. So you get to go first, or no, you don't get to go first, you just go at initiative. So you'll go before power fists and things like that, which is a slight, it's okay. That's not a deal breaker. You can still get a group of 30 boys, that's good. The Gretchen, never used, I highly doubt I'll ever use them. I don't even want to talk about them. Burna Boys, 80 points for 5 of them. And then it's approximately 16 points apiece, which is more, 1 point more than it was. You can upgrade 3 of them to mechs, replacing the burners with mech tools, Slugga Choppa, let's see, and then you can replace with the Choppa with a kill saw, which we'll look up what the kill saw is later on. The burner truck is still possible, but remember you got to do those templates one at a time, so that is a little bit of a nerf, but they're still great units. It's AP3 close combat weapons with the burners now instead of the AP2. Or no, it's always been a power weapon. That's right. Tankbusters. They actually fixed those, so those are back, I think. I'm going to the... Tankbusters used to be 15 points a piece, now they're 13, so 2 points less. And now they don't have... The glory hogs that they had before was where they had to shoot at something even if they were out of range. They had to attempt to assault it or shoot it. Now, they have a neat little mission, which it would be a rarity that this actually happens, but if it does, great. It says in a mission that there's first blood, the orc player receives double the normal victory points if a first casualty is removed. If the first casualty removed is an enemy vehicle that has been destroyed by an attack made by one or more tankbusters. So, if you have a squad of tankbusters and you blow up one of their tanks and that's the first blood, you get 2 points instead of 1, which, you know, isn't a big deal, but, you know, anything better than being forced to chase anything is good. So now I can actually see using tankbusters. One thing I liked about the Orc Codex is that they allowed a lot more, they brought a lot of characters back. Before, you would rarely ever use Tankbusters unless you're going against Tyranids, because then you weren't forced to shoot at the first closest thing. Same with Boss Zagstruck, Captain Badruck. They kind of made these characters playable again, so that's good. Especially Mad Doc. So Rocket, looks like everybody pretty much got sticky bombs. Oh, nice. They got Tank Buster bombs, 98. I'm gonna assume that's some sort of melt-a-bomb. Yep, see melt-a-bombs. And then they also have Tank Hunters, which, about damn time. So that means they get +1 when they're trying to... that means they don't have an AP2 weapon, but with that, they can actually blow up a vehicle. So that's good. You can upgrade one to a boss knob. Take a dedicated transport, which I don't believe you could before. Nope, you couldn't do that before. So now you can throw them in a truck. Truck's going to be a lot more important in this new codex. Alright, the next on the list, Nobz. So Nobz are now 18 points versus 20 points apiece. Power Claw didn't go down, it's still 25 points, and may take them on war bikes for 27. So let's see, the war bikes before, Nob Bikers is plus 25. So it came out dead ass even for the Nob Bikers. But bikes themselves have gotten a little not as strong. So take a truck or battle wagon as dedicated transport. That's the same. They have sticky bombs now. Did they have that before? They did. Okay. Here we go. Furious Job Mob Rule. So 54 points. Not bad. So I like that they automatically include a knob in the squads now, instead of just an empty set of boys, I guess. But if you think about it, you could have saved yourself some points by just having a squad of 30 boys. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't know this. Back to the boys. It's 60 points for 10 orc boys. So, and a knob. So the knob you get for free. So 60 points, you get 10 orc boys and 1 knob. So you don't even have to... Before, you're saving 16 points. 6 for the orc and 10 for the upgrade to the boss knob. So that's neat. So you saved a good amount of chunk of points there. And then one of my favorites in the... One of my all-time favorites in the Orc Codex, Mega Knobs. Almost every army I've built has some sort of Mega Knob in it, so this is great. Which is good, because I picked up some extra ones for so that we can get those painted up and play, so we can get a squad of now 10 Mega Knobs. Before, you could still have 10. Battle Wagon, let's see what they got. So Twin Link Shooter, that's the same. Power Claw, same. Mega Armor. Sticky Bombs. Did they have sticky bombs? They did, but they're going last anyway. So they pretty much kept the same everything. The main difference is that now you can have a boss Mega Nob, which before you couldn't, or you didn't have to worry about challenges, and now you can. Comes down to 40 points a piece, which is the same. May replace the Twin Link Shooter with a Power Claw with 2 Kill Saws, which I believe gives you additional things like Armor Bane, Flesh Bangs, things like that, but I doubt you ever need that. Power Claws, just see, I wouldn't spend another dime. Maybe throw some extra Scorches and maybe a boss pull now. That's a good thing that you can get a boss pull. You don't have to throw an HQ choice in there in order to lose all your Mega Nobs. So that's a pretty good upgrade. I like that. So next, Commandos. Commandos are a unique thing because number one, they're 10 points apiece. So again, when you spend your 50 points for the squad, you get 5 Commandos plus 1 Nob. So you get a free Nob when you originally buy your squad. For 50 points, it might be worth to get just a group of 5 guys that you could infiltrate in now that everybody is scoring. Infiltrate in and just hold it and keep someone from either create a new target or keep someone from getting it. It could be a cheap 50-point unit that you, or hell, see, this is the only thing that sucks, is that now the orcs have so many usable characters and you only get 3 elites. So I guess the question comes down to is, what elite would you like to use? And that's the thing that's tough. It's tough. Rocket launchers 5, big shooter 5, Burna 15. Was that the same? Burna? I want to say Burna was cheaper. Nope. Okay, so the rockets overall are cheaper. One model may be upgraded to a boss Nob. That's weird. When you buy, keep in mind this is a initial review, just a breeze through. I haven't played anything. I can come back and do more tactics. But it says when you buy it for 50 points, you get you get 5 Commandos, and it almost says that you get a boss Nob in that group as part of the 50 points, because that's usually how it's organized. But then in the body of the thing it says one model but may be upgraded to a boss Nob for 10 points. I could be reading that wrong, but usually, like in this Chaos Space Marine book, when you bought a squad, you got whatever that was in there. So we'll have to find that one out. That's kind of weird. Because it's too good to be true that you get a boss Nob and then you may upgrade another one for 10 points. That would be crazy if you had 2 Nobs in a group of, 10 Commandos or something. And they have Infiltrate, Move Through, Mob Rule, Move Through Cover, and Stealth. Furious Charge, and here we go. So Stealth is good. That's pretty nice. So, Boss Snikrot, he still has his ambush where he can come out on any table edge. And when he comes out, they have Stealth. Oh, when he comes out, if him and his unit have Stealth, now they're shrouded. He can only be placed with Commandos. If he's included in the detachment with at least 1 Commando, he does not take up a Force Orc. Okay, that makes sense, because I was wondering if just him